9 trained people. None of them were insane. None of them were drunk. And yet, in the middle of the night, at 40 degrees below zero, all of them did the same thing. They tore open the only thing protecting them from the cold and ran barefoot into the snow. I'm not going to tell you what killed them yet. I'm going to tell you what made intelligent people make the most irrational decision possible. January 1959. 10 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a ski expedition rated Category 3, the hardest difficulty level of the time. Led by Igor Dyatlov, 23 years old, experienced, respected. On January 28th, one of them, Yuri Yudin, falls ill and turns back. That mundane decision, a back pain, a discomfort, is the only reason he's still alive to tell the story. The other 9 continue. They know what they're doing. They're not weekend tourists. They're experienced mountaineers, prepared for temperatures below -30 degrees Celsius. On February 1st, they pitch camp on the slope of Ural Mountain. The name, in the local Mansi language, means dead mountain. They didn't know that. Or maybe they did, and it didn't matter. Something happens between the night of February 1st and the early hours of February 2nd. No signs of a struggle. No signs of an outside attack. Nothing, except the tent, slashed open from the inside. Think about that for a second. Cutting open the wall of your own tent in the middle of a storm at 40 degrees below zero means giving up the one thing standing between you and death by hypothermia in a matter of hours. Nobody does that on a whim. The footprints in the snow tell the rest of the story. Some left in socks, others with only one shoe on, at least one barefoot. All of them headed in the same direction, toward the forest, down the slope, away from the camp. In a line. No sign of pushing past one another. No sign of disorganized panic. And that's what still puzzles investigators today. Whatever terrified them didn't make them act like a panicked mob. It made all of them act the same way, at the same time, in the same direction. The first 2 bodies were found near a makeshift fire beside a cedar tree. Dead from hypothermia. That much, at least, makes sense. 3 more were found in positions suggesting they'd tried to make it back to the tent. They didn't. The last 4 weren't found until May, 3 months later, buried in a ravine under the snow. And this is where the story stops making sense. Multiple fractured ribs, a fractured skull. One body with impact force comparable to a car crash, with no external bruising, no sign of a fight or an ordinary fall. One body missing its tongue, missing its eyes. The Soviet investigation, closed in 1959, gave an explanation just 3 words long. An irresistible natural force. No further detail. No further explanation. Case closed. Here's what nobody tells you in most Dyatlov Pass videos. The most terrifying part isn't what killed the 9. It's what made them act as one. There's a real documented phenomenon in situations of extreme panic. When the brain calculates that staying means certain death and fleeing means probable death, it chooses flight, even when that flight looks insane. Even barefoot in the snow, even if it means giving up the only shelter you have. It wasn't madness. It was the opposite. A survival calculation so extreme, it looked like madness from the outside. The question this case forces you to ask isn't what scared them. It's, what would it take for your own brain to make that same decision? Because if 9 trained, experienced, rational people did this, the answer isn't, they were different from you. The answer is that no one is immune to the right kind of terror. Decades of theories followed. Infrasound, military tests, avalanches, even more extreme stories involving secret weapons and creatures. In 2021, a published study linked the case to a rare type of slab avalanche, combined with the human error of camping on an exposed slope under conditions that amplified every wrong decision. But even the most scientific explanation doesn't answer the one question that really matters: what those 9 people felt in the seconds before they cut open that tent. No autopsy can ever tell you that. If this case gave you chills, tell us in the comments. Do you think it was fear or survival instinct pushed to the extreme? And if you want to catch the next chapter in our Unsolved Mysteries series, hit that notification bell.